Okay, so we're doing a bit of work on the P90 caster again today. I've got the pick guard sort of semi put together. I've put the pickups in, the P90 humbuckers, I've got the tone pots in from the old pick guard, the three-way selector switch, that's the old pick guard there. Left the five-way selector and the pickups in that, so I don't need them. So what I've done at the minute, I've just sort of working on the hot side of things. I've put the neck pickup and the bridge pickup into the three-way selector. Then I've got the feeds coming off them going to the pots, all sort of ready to be soldered in. Wiring wise, I've gone for a little while ago I had a Squier HH standard Strat, and I took a little note of the wiring diagram. May not make sense to you, but I know what it means. So basically, I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm thinking with this one. Okay, so we've got this red wire is the neck pickup, which goes into this second tang, it loops over these two, and this goes to the tone control on this far tang there. Then we've got the bridge pickup, goes to this second tang from this end, it loops over to the next one, but then also the feed goes off to this tone control. Then the middle one, they loop together the two middle tangs, which goes to this far tang on the volume pot. The HH Strat I had two separate capacitors, one for each pot there. Coming a little bit closer. So it had one that went from this middle tang to the top of the pot, then one from this middle tang to the top of the pot. But what I'm thinking, if I could maybe loop the two together, sort of that way, snip this wire off, and then try and solder this capacitor to that pot and to that pot. That's sort of my thinking with that. So I'll try and get all this done now, and then we'll work on the sort of ground side of it. That's going to be going to the tremolo claw. I'm just going to use that wire, so it was already on there. Then we're going to bridge these three pots together with one wire. Then we need to put a ground in from the selector casing to the top of that pot, and then we'll also need another wire coming off going to the output jack, and also a hot going to the output jack as well. So first of all, I'm just going to wire what I've sort of got in now. Just going to solder these bits in, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so I've just grounded the two grounds from the pickups together. Now I'm going to run a piece of wire all the way across. So when you want to solder to the pots, get a little bit of sandpaper and just scuff the pots up a little bit. Around this area I'm going to also put the cap. A little bit more around there. I'll try and join a bit of wire all the way across. So before I solder this last ground onto this pot, I'm going to run the orange drop through. So I'm going to join the middle two tangs together. So I reckon something like that. That should work. So I'm just going to snip the end of this cap off. Join them through. That's the plan anyway. Okay, so that's the grounds on. One more, just need to go from this casing of the three-way selector switch also onto that. So let's get that one in. Okay, so that's all on. So the three-way switch is now grounded. Next wire I need to do is a ground from the top of the volume pot to the output jack, and then I want a so from this middle tang I want another hot going to the output jack. So I'll solder these two in. I'll do the ground first. I'll just use these full lengths of cable, and then I can just feed them through the guitar body. So let's get these on. Okay, so I've got the pick guard on now. Just need to solder on the output jack. I've just put a couple of screws in just to sort of hold it into place. I'll leave it like this till I go through the sort of testing stage. So I'm just going to wire the output jack on. Alright, all done. So I just like to twist these a bit just so they stay in sort of place, and then we are done. So I just need to screw that back in. Okay, so this was originally soldered to that joint there, which is not ideal. I want it soldered to this little bit sticking up. So I'm just going to scuff it up with a bit of sandpaper, melt some solder into it, and then I'll get it on there. So I want to strip this wire back a little bit. A bit too much. I'll zoom in for this one. I'll move this out of the way. So I don't want them springs interfering with this cable at all. So when I set this up, I'll probably put these screws right in, but that's all the wiring done now. So I'm just quickly going to plug a cable in, and let's move that out of the way. Just check all the electrics work. So we've got a cable there. So we've got sound, so we're on neck pickup, middle, yep, and then bridge. Yep, we're all good. So what I'll do now is put the neck back on. So if you haven't been following the series, I've painted this headstock. I've got my own decal on there. I lacquered it. I was going to put these vintage style tuners on. The only trouble I did have when I went to put these on was the spacing was too far apart. So when I went to put the screws in the back of these, you have one screw to hold two tuners on, and they were too far apart and they wouldn't hold down. So for now, I've stuck the stock tuners back on. So I'm going to put this on and string it up, and then we'll plug her in and see what she sounds like. Alright, so I think we're done. I've drilled all the holes for the pickup cover, put all the screws back in, everything's wired up. Both the string trees are on now, it's all tuned up. I'll give it a quick setup. It's pretty much where I want it to be. So I reckon it's time to plug her in and see what these P90s sound like. Right, so it's now built. It's going to give you a quick rundown again. So this was originally a £20 Squier Affinity Strat. It was made in 1999, so it's 21 years old. It did have some little dings on it and war wounds and what have you. But yeah, so mods I've done. I've bought these P90 humbucker pickups. These were, I think, about £12. I got them cheap. I think they messed up on the price. eBay, they're Vanson P90 humbucker size pickups. The pick guard is a Vanson pick guard. Again, that was eBay. That was £11.50. Freeway selector switch. I paid about £2 for that. So the paint was about £4 for a can. That was Tornado Red Volkswagen to match the Fender Dakota Red. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've done to it. Oh, I also bought some wiring. That was about £5 for some vintage cloth wire. Also a couple of quid for the orange cap, 0.22, whatever the rating was. Also I had a Switchcraft output jack knocking around there. You can pick them up pretty cheap. They're definitely worth doing. Even on your sort of Mexican Fender Strats, I'd definitely recommend upgrading them. But apart from that, she's pretty stock. I've gone with the original neck. So yeah, thin body, but it's got a nice weight to it. It's got the stock bridge tremolo. I never bothered messing around with that at all, to be honest. Rosewood fingerboard. But yeah, you know what these are all about, don't you? Squier Affinity Strat. So I'm gonna plug her in now, play with some sounds, and I'll do a bit of clean. I'll just jam away, bit of clean, and then I'll play with a bit of distortion and just go through the 3 different positions. So let's plug her in, see what she sounds like. go, that was the Robstart P90 caster build. So let me know what you think to it in the comments below. If you've enjoyed the build, let me know. And if you've got any questions regarding like how to wire these up, this is again a HH setup. So you've got one volume, two tone controls. I've got one capacitor sort of working the two tone pots, and just a three-way selector switch, so a nice and simple setup. Again, if you've got any questions regarding sort of help, if you want to wire something similar up, let me know. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the build. I think it's been a bit of a cool looking one. I do like the headstock. It's got the larger 70s headstock, which you don't really see many of these matching. Normally it's the smaller ones, but yeah. So let me know what you think to these P90 humbucker pickups, whether you like the neck, middle, both together, or clean, distorted. And yeah, I think they sound pretty good. These especially sounds nice, just backed off a little bit. I think these sound better with the tone backed off just a little bit, just to take away a bit of that harshness. They are dirt cheap. These were again with Vanson P90 humbucker size pickups. There's plenty on eBay and Amazon and AliExpress as a sort of a generic Chinese El Nico P90 humbucker, but yeah, I recommend them. I think they sound pretty decent, and yeah, that'll probably wrap it up for this build. So give the video a thumbs up, keep watching the channel, got plenty more builds to come this year. Subscribe to the channel, and that'll probably do. So yeah, thanks for watching, see you all soon, peace.